And now, I would like to introduce Braedon McCoy, a graduating senior from the computer science program, who will give the student address. During this time at Wentworth, Braedon was an admissions ambassador and a coordinator of an alternative spring break trip. He worked with Microsoft during his first co-op and with the Game Show Network for his second co-op. Braedon?
Thank you, President Pontage. As a fellow graduate of the class of 2015, I am honored to be here today speaking to all my fellow classmates, our faculty, our family, friends, and honored guests, all gathered here for this momentous occasion. Guys, we did it. Let's get a round of applause. As any Wentworth student can tell you, our school isn't like other schools. The focus we all place on our careers and our lives is incredibly intense. In fact, you could say that we see our time here as a crucible filled with challenges and trials that we must face and overcome. Looking around, I see very different people from those I met during Wentworth Orientation Week. The Wentworth Crucible has changed all of us. It took us in as raw, unshaped intellect and talent and forged us into something more. We have become builders. Now, I say builders with a capital B and for a reason. It's true. Not all of us build tangible things like buildings or engines, but we all build. Wentworth grads are builders who take in raw materials like steel, iron, or even data, ideas, or plans, and we forge those raw materials into something useful. Without people like us, there would be no parks, no cars, no computers. How would your day go without any of those? I am reminded of a series of commercials put out not long ago by Jeep and Chrysler with the theme of "We are makers." I thoroughly enjoyed these commercials, but they missed an obvious part of the process. A lot of people are makers. A lot of people play with Legos or pen and paper or free design software to make things. But are they builders? True, all builders are makers, but as Wentworth graduates, we're more than that. Many people who come into Wentworth entered as makers. They enjoyed the free-form creative process and they have an urge to make, but they're not builders. As builders, we understand why the things we build need to be built. We understand the theory and the science behind what we build, and we know how to adapt and change what we build depending on the circumstances. We are more than makers. So those commercials are close, but not quite right. So, how did we become more than makers? How did we become builders? Well, in short, we were torn down and educated into what we are today. We went through the Wentworth Crucible, through calculus, thermodynamics, countless studio hours, and even a few humanities and social science classes. Many of these classes are the most difficult things we have done to date. They challenged us, taught us how to look at a problem, forced us to learn the right way to solve it, and prove our solution, and then do it again and again and again. Those long nights filled with the hard work forced us to walk through the Wentworth Crucible and come out stronger than ever before. We no longer just make things, we build things. So why is this important in today's society? The world needs more builders, especially in the age of startups, innovation, and change. Who else will rebuild after disasters like the earthquakes in Nepal and Haiti? Who else will rebuild the failed systems after scandals like the NSA spying incident? Who else will build the Big Dig or the next Fenway Park? Would you trust a maker to do any of these things? Or would you rather have a builder do it? When I look around at the men and women receiving their diplomas today, I know who I would choose. So you may be asking, where do we go from here? Well, most of us will be entering the workforce in the next few weeks. We will integrate ourselves into the world as useful members of society. We want to be, and we will be, builders. We aren't just ready to graduate, we're rearing to go. Let us out into the world, let us into your company, and let us do what we have been wanting to do for years. So, my fellow graduates, the class of 2015, here are my final thoughts. Right now, with our diplomas in hand, the world is wide open to us. As builders, we can build our world into whatever we want it to be. The world is a blank AutoCAD canvas. It is a fresh Visual Studio project. It is a new Revit file or business plan. It is ours to do with as we please. We have successfully passed through the Wentworth Crucible. We have been tested, tempered, and tried. We have come out stronger than we have ever been before, and we have been shaped into what society needs us to be. So, to the Wentworth Institute of Technology class of 2015, I kindly ask that as we leave here today, we do Wentworth, each other, and the world proud. For after all, we are the builders. Thank you.
Thank you, Braedon. This is such a great and inspiring speech, and I want to give you, as a recognition for your participation in the ceremony, the Institute Medallion.